This video, I'm going to be testing out the GE Pro Universal Remote Control. So one of the selling features of this remote control for me is that they say it works on streaming players and soundbars. So specifically, Roku and Apple TV. Now we all know Roku is the most popular streaming device, so everyone has one. But that was the main selling point, so that's something we're going to be testing out. Also going to be testing some of the main features that people use a lot, such as input selection. Can you switch inputs on your TV with this remote? Of course, volume, power. Can you go into the menu with this remote control? The shortcut keys. Roku, most streaming players have these shortcut keys where you got Netflix, Hulu shortcut keys. We're going to also test them out, and I'm also going to show you guys the programming, let you guys know how easy was it to program. And battery life, that's a big major one. That's something I'm going to be testing out. So it's going to be like a week long or 2 week long review, but it's going to be short for y'all because it's all going to be there. And also I'm going to be testing out the DVR features. So you watching Netflix, you want to pause programming Netflix or Hulu. We're going to be testing that out too and see how well that works. So let's get into the features of this remote. Then we're going to crack it open and do my initial test. So first of all, this remote was purchased on Amazon for $8.45. Now it has a 4.3 star rating with over 9,500 reviews. So of course, everything has its good reviews. This item was sold. I mean, if it had all bad reviews, but we're gonna get into some bad reviews. People were saying that not good for modern devices, for smart TVs, streaming. Any modern device says it's not good for. Some people are saying it doesn't work all the time. Some people say it just stopped working, which goes in line with it not working all the time. So let's get into the features of this remote while we go ahead and crack it open. So, of course, they say it works for streaming devices, Roku, Apple TV, but you can program this remote control to work on up to 4 devices. So if you have a DVD player, you can program it to pretty much anything. And they also have a master volume button, which was another big selling point because you don't have to keep switching device inputs just to turn the volume up. So if you don't know what a master volume is, like say you're watching a DVD, your remote is in DVD mode, all you have to do is just press the volume. It's going to automatically go back to your set. It's going to control the volume on your set master volume device, right? So what comes in the packaging? We have our remote, we have our instruction manual, and most importantly, we have our device code list. So that's a big plus. I know some remotes I was researching, you had to go online to learn how to program your remote or get the codes. In fact, the TiVo Stream 4K, as I mentioned plenty of times, didn't come with anything about the remote control, right? So another thing too, it doesn't come with batteries. You're going to need 2 AAA batteries for this remote, and that's a big thing for me. Remote battery life. My Roku remote eats up batteries, within 2 months. The Fire Stick remote, it's pretty good on batteries, but yeah, I like the design of this remote. Actually, it actually cups good in the hand because I know a lot of times when I'm holding a remote, I kind of have to slide back to get that, and it's good that they got that lip back there. So if you want to go up there, you have an indicator in the back that lets you know where to stop or how you can hold it, or another way you can hold it. But I'm going to be testing this remote out on, of course, the Roku player. I have a Roku Ultra. I'm going to be testing out on the Amazon Fire Stick. I'm going to be testing out on a TiVo Stream 4K. And I'm also going to be testing it out on the Sling Air TV Mini. And I'm also going to be testing it out on my smart TV. All right, so let's get into it. All right, folks, so programming the remote control to the TV was extremely simple. Now, I will say this. They have 2 ways you can program the remote control. You have the auto search and then you have the manual method. I definitely recommend using the manual method because if you have a list of codes, you can try each code and find which one is more compatible. So, for example, with my situation, the automatic code didn't allow me to switch through the inputs, but when I went through all of the codes they had on the list, I found the right code that would allow me to switch to my TV inputs, as you see right there. I can scroll through the inputs. I have more functionality with the code that I chose. Now, they do say that, and this is just general information, not every code, or the code you find that might work best for you, is not going to work all of the features that you want it to. Remember, this is a universal remote. It's meant to work for hundreds of TVs, so it might not work for your device, perfect. But I will say this: find the right code that does do the most, that does do the most, and then stick with that one. All right, so program to the TV, nice and easy. And first streaming device I tested out was a Sling Air TV Mini. It didn't work for it. Sling Air TV Mini is a Bluetooth device, so is the TiVo Stream 4K. It didn't work for the device. It didn't work for the Amazon Fire Stick, but it did work for my Roku Ultra. Now, one thing I have to tell you guys, that this remote is infrared only. So it's a line of sight remote. It's not Bluetooth. It's not a Wi-Fi remote. So it's a line of sight remote. And fortunately for Roku lovers, the Roku Ultra supports infrared. So I was able to get it to program to my Roku Ultra. Now, I made a separate video about how to program the remote because there's just so much stuff I wanted to do with this remote. I actually bought a bunch of remotes to compare to each other, but I just decided to split them all into separate videos because there's just so much that I want to test out that I really couldn't consolidate it down into a short length video. So the Roku Ultra feature, so I programmed that to my cable. All right. So the cool thing about this remote as well, and I'm just going to throw this out there, any button you can use to program to any device. So for example, you can use DVD to program your Roku, or auxiliary to program to your Roku. You can use TV to program to your Roku. You can use TV to program to your soundbar. So it doesn't matter which button you press or which button you program. It's gonna program and work that device. But I just use the appropriate buttons just to simplify things for me. So with the Roku features with the remote, so I'm pretty much able to do, a lot of the things that you want to do with a Roku. I mean, this is great if you lost your Roku remote, or you just want to have two different remotes. Your husband has one, you have one, or your wife has one, you have one. So let's go over the features with the Roku. So first thing is the shortcut buttons don't work, right? That's something I talked about. But you can browse through the menu just like you would with the Roku remote. Also, the home button works. You press the home button, it takes you back to your home. Now, I will say this. Some of the people on the reviews, they said it didn't work for Roku Ultra, but it does. It works for us. So just going through here. So we're going to select on, let's go to Prime Video. So another thing I wanted to test out is how well it performs when you're watching the video. So, and I also tested out the volume. So right now we're in cable mode, but if I press the volume button, it's controlling the TV volume. And I also have a separate video on how you can set up your master volume control. Again, I didn't want to dilute this video with a bunch of information that people might forget. So I made a separate video for the actual programming the remote features. And this one is just strictly how it works with your streaming devices and your TV. So let's go ahead and select on one of these programs. All right. So see right here, you're gonna watch that, but I'm gonna tilt the camera kind of. Tell you what, let's go ahead and get it going. So the DVR features actually work. They work for this remote control. I know that was a big deal for me as a consumer, and I know it's probably a big deal for a lot of people out there. This remote costs less than $9, and it's a viable replacement for a Roku remote, for a smart TV, for any TV. We haven't got to the smart TV yet, but we're gonna get to that. But you see, I can pause it, I can play it, and then I can go back. So all of the features work for this remote. Again, folks, great design. None of the short keys work. But next, we're going to take a look at the smart TV. All right, folks, so we're here at the smart TV. In this demonstration, I'm using a Vizio smart TV, which is great. It has all the latest apps that you know, that you want, but it's very laggy. I would say that's the biggest difference between streaming devices and smart TVs. But programming this remote control to my smart TV was very simple. As I said in the beginning, it comes pre-programmed for Samsung TVs. Now, going back to the bad reviews, people said that it stopped working, this and that. I haven't noticed any, you know, functions where it just at no time did it stop working. In fact, let me go ahead and put the remote right here in display. So the cool thing about this remote is any button, I don't know if I said this before, but any button can be programmed to anything. So auxiliary can be controlled to your TV. So in short, you can program this remote to control 2 separate TVs. So I see that question a lot online. So for this one, I have it, for this, the main TV button, I have it programmed for my TV in my bedroom. So if you see, I push that and I try to control my Vizio, it's not going to do anything. But I program my Vizio to the auxiliary side. Then I got my Roku on the cable side, but auxiliary controls this smart TV right here. So when it comes to smart TV functions now, you know, keep in mind that every TV is different. This remote isn't going to be fully compatible with every device, but for the most part, I'm able to scroll through content, and most importantly, I'm able to use my input. Let's see, we go hitting the wrong button. So we hitting the input, and I could cycle through my inputs on my TV. You see, it's kind of faded, transparent, but I can cycle through my inputs. I found the right code that best suits my needs. So as far as DVR features, let's go ahead and select on something. Let's go to Disney Plus. Let's go to Disney Plus, and all right, Disney Plus is loading up now. Yeah, in my opinion, now I haven't had my hands on every smart TV, but for my experience with smart TV, they just are slow to load up, late response. They're not very responsive. So that's, you know, part of the main reason why I keep a streaming device. You know, especially if you got kids, they pushing all types of buttons, going through the content. But my kids do watch Hulu on. I got my smart TV set up for the kids programming, and my streaming device set up for, you know, the programming I want to watch without parental control. So let's go down here. Let's see if we can find something real quick. And we're just testing out the DVR features. I will say, you know, having an IR remote does have its setbacks. You have to be pointing directly at the, well, not directly, but in the general direction of the IR sensor. So while we got that going, let's see if we can hit the pause button. So we see our pause features work, our rewind features work. So again, smart TVs are extremely slow. Let's see how it works with the fast forward. So we got our, if you look down here in the bottom left corner, our fast forward is working. I'm pressing that. But drawbacks is there's no shortcut button. Like, let me show you my original remote. So this is the universal remote. This is the Vizio remote. I can press that button and get to my the Vizio screen, the Vizio smart screen, where I have all of my apps and, you know, everything like that. But on this remote, there's no shortcut button. There's no shortcut button on, you know, how to get into places on my smart TV that this one has. The color-coded buttons do not work, and also this remote is not a learner remote, so you can't teach it commands from this remote. Again, I will let you guys know. But that is it, folks. If you enjoyed the video, if you learned anything, do me a huge favor. Hit that like, share, and subscribe button, especially if you think somebody else will learn from this. And I will see you guys next time. Peace out.